Now, for many a family, the calling to live that quintessential village lifestyle, quite frankly, is just too loud to ignore. They're attracted to the proposition of being able to open the doors in the morning and be surrounded by beautiful open green fields and farmland, by having chickens and horses and cows and sheep and a whole host of other wildlife on the doorstep. And when it comes to being part of a community, they really want to be part of not just a small community, but also a safe, secure, close-knit community as well. And those people who are obsessed with property, such as myself, of course, one thing that goes hand in hand with historic rural villages is historic rural properties, and those homes really do help contribute towards the identity of these idyllic locations. Now, in my experience, all of the above are valid reasons why a family might choose to centre their property search around rural Fylde, and of course the village that we're filming from today is certainly no different. In fact, it puts a tick in all of those boxes. Today we're filming from Singleton. Singleton really is a charming and sought after village, and it's got so much on offer. For example, the local primary school is highly regarded and has got an Ofsted rating of outstanding, something that tends to be a huge calling card, particularly with families who are purchasing a property with young children in mind. And if you are buying a property with young children factored into that equation, you'll be delighted to learn that we've got a local, well-equipped playground for the village children, which was tailor-made for exhausting active imaginations and small legs before bedtime. Now, going back to what I mentioned earlier on, this place has got beautiful homes, with each property that little bit different from the next. They all have intrigue and quirky characteristics that really do make the streets here a pleasure to explore. And when you are exploring, you can't help but be drawn in by the history of Singleton Village, which is quite literally hidden in plain sight. For example, just behind me, we've got an original fire engine, which is sure to create intrigue with anyone who passes by. Now, on a day-to-day basis, for those evenings where, quite frankly, you can't be bothered cooking at the end of a long day, you'll be delighted to hear that you've got the choice of 2 country pubs, each of which are warm, welcoming, with a great atmosphere. Now, take it from my own first-hand experience, both of these places have got extensive menus and delicious food, perfect for the whole family, whether you're having a lazy night out or celebrating a special occasion. I'll raise a Diet Coke to that. But of course, if you do have the appetite to venture further afield to celebrate those special occasions, then you're spoilt for choice in where to do so, with the historic market town of Poulton-le-Fylde just a few minutes down the road, connecting you with all the restaurants, the bistros, the coffee spots, the takeaways, and the shops and supermarkets you could ever wish for, offering you the very best of the rural lifestyle with everyday practicalities at your fingertips. Not that you would ever want to leave this place, because the home that we're here to see really is something quite special, and if you've not already guessed, the property that we're here to visit is the very home that you can see peeking just over my shoulder. This is Singleton Mill Barn, a property that I can't wait to introduce you to. Welcome to another exclusive property tour. Now, the property that I've got the absolute pleasure of touring you around today, quite frankly, is a far cry from the structure that once stood on this plot. Now, historically, this was a derelict barn with not 1 but 2 windmills on the site, and the longer lasting of those 2 windmills was demolished back in the mid-1950s, but more on that shortly. For now, I've got these amazing pictures that I was really keen to share with you on today's feature. It's a picture of this property back in its barn form, with that wonderful windmill taking place of pride on the landscape, proudly overlooking Singleton Village. On the photograph, we see 2 very happy, sprightly, energetic young men cycling their bikes away from the property along the road that we was filming on just this morning. And for me, that's a stark reminder of not just a nod to this property's history, but also a reminder that we're mere tenants of these wonderful structures that we're fortunate enough to call home. Now, back in the mid-1970s, the existing owners of this property purchased the site and completed the conversion into a home. And back in 2010, a complete renovation was undergone. So to say that this home really is a lifelong labour of love for the existing owners really wouldn't be an overstatement. In fact, looking around, the property that we find today really is a testimony to their vision, their hard work, their perseverance, and their investment over the years. And welcome into the market today, we have a home that is ready to move into. Now, you join me at the moment from the family kitchen, an epic space that really does encourage conversation and connection between the whole house. We've got this chef's island which sits central, acting as a great focal point in the space, but also a canvas for informal dining and maybe even that bowl of cereal before the school run. Now, built into the island, we've got ample built-in storage, something that's often warmly welcomed by families in my experience. And on the surface, we've got an induction hob and an extractor fan that's built into the island itself, which helps maintain that sleek, minimal minimalist finish and those straight lines. Now around the kitchen, we've got tons of additional storage built into the cupboards, as well as a Siemens dishwasher, a built-in oven and grill, and a fridge freezer. The more eagle-eyed ones amongst you may have noticed an enormous wine cooler to the back wall, which of course would be fantastic for keeping those bubbles nice and cool, ready for a toast on completion day. Now on the far side, we've got a snug area, which I've got to say is a very inviting space to kick back at the end of a long day as you enjoy your favourite podcast, you read your favourite book, or catch up on the world events. Just beside that, we've got a formal dining space, which is perfect if it is that you're a family that like to entertain friends, family, and possibly even your new neighbours. Now back to the front facing aspect of the home, we've got a versatile reception space which is currently being utilised as a home study, but in truth this room really could be adapted to suit the wants, needs and requirements of your household. Now whilst it works perfectly well as a study, it wouldn't take the most active imagination to see how this could be adapted to create single story living if it is that you've got an elderly relative or a regular visitor that maybe would benefit from ground floor accommodation. It'd make a fantastic double bedroom, and what is currently hidden behind a partition door is a great storage area which could just as easily be a small walk-in wardrobe. Just beside this room we've got a current wet room which has got a walk-in shower, a toilet and a wash basin, but again could make a fantastic ensuite facility. Now across the hallway on the opposite wing of the home we find our final reception room, and if you like the sneak peek of history that I just gave you into this property's past, come with me as we take a closer look at what I consider to be a fantastic feature in this space. So here we are in the principal family lounge, a room that gives me a lot to talk about. Now to the side elevation, we've got this large double glazed window which frames the farmland into the distance, as well as Singleton village itself. It hangs beautifully like a piece of art on the wall, and the double patio doors to the rear elevation take you into your private gardens to the back. Now inside, of course, we've got a beautiful feature fire which is a great focal point, but obviously does a great job of warming this space in the cooler months. It's a fantastic space to wrap the whole family around. Now I really hope our camera does justice to this, but as I mentioned before, this room gives a subtle nod to the history of this property, and in this feature window we've got a beautiful picture etched into the glass of when this property was a working mill. For me, that's really quite special. Singleton Mill Barn boasts 3 floors of accommodation. On the first floor we find 2 of the 4 double bedrooms offered here at the property. Now each of these rooms are double and they're identical in size, and they're both served by a private ensuite facility which features not just a walk-in shower but also a separate bath. Right here on the very top floor of the home, the property benefits from a vaulted ceiling which adds a lot of depth and drama to both the landing space and the bedrooms on either side. The master bedroom is just behind me. It's a room of great proportions with plenty of built-in storage. It's served by a private ensuite facility that's hidden quite literally in plain sight behind a door that would have you think it was a wardrobe. But in you walk to your own private ensuite, featuring a separate bath as well as a walk-in shower. Now the vendors have also created a beautiful window seat which perfectly frames the outlook to the side elevation of the home. This window gives you a peek into the floral surroundings, and it really is something to behold. Now the fourth and final bedroom again is double in size, and it's got a window that gives you a great look over those far-reaching rural views to the rear, really framing that like a piece of art on the wall. The fourth and final bedroom is served by a shower room which can be accessed just from this door on my left-hand side. Now as today's property tour comes to an end, it would be remiss of me to not dedicate a section of this feature to celebrating the stunning landscape and the outdoor space that this property offers. This home really is a lifestyle property, and you can just imagine enjoying this gorgeous landscaped multi-tiered garden for many years to come over both the winter and the summer months. Looking around, this is somewhere where I could quite happily spend an entire afternoon. In fact, I might have to put that wine cooler to good use and do exactly that. But as we explore and as we look around this wraparound plot, we see a few things that are noteworthy. To the front, we've got ample off-road, safe and secure parking, along with a separate detached garage. To the bottom part of the garden, we've got a summer house, which would make the most amazing playroom, possibly even a garden office, so you can do your work in tranquil and idyllic surroundings. And to the left-hand side, we've got a nod to the property's history. Now, if heritage is important to you, then you'll be delighted to know that this feature is from the very base of the windmill that once stood on this plot, an ever-present reminder outdoors of just what a special home you're in the presence of, and a reminder of the vast history of this particular plot. Now, on the subject of preserving history and beauty, it's noteworthy for me to mention that the interests of Singleton Village are taken care of by the trustees of Singleton Trust. Now, this trust was set up in the name of local resident Richard Dumbrek, who loved this village so much that when he passed away in 2003, he decided to leave behind the contents of his entire estate to the trust. Now, their mission is to now maintain over 580 acres of land that surround the village, as well as a number of properties, with the sole focus to preserve village life and protect the interests of those that are lucky enough to call this stunning village home. Now, considering that the trust owns the farmland that surrounds this property, that was of warm and welcome news to the existing homeowners of Singleton Mill Barn, who took great comfort in that fact, and hopefully it's of comfort for you too as a future potential resident of this stunning village. Now, if you like what you've seen from today's property tour, and if you could imagine calling Singleton Mill Barn your home for many years to come, then the only thing left for you to do is give me a call on the details that follow, and of course I'd be more than happy to help. For now, my name's Ben, thank you for watching.